Welcome, I'm Joshua Silverstein.
And I'm Evelyn Rudy.
And this is Santa Monica on Stage, where we talk about the people and venues that make the city of Santa Monica the cultural destination for the performing arts.
We have two fantastic groups on today's show. Joining us are Highways Performance Space and Orchestra Santa Monica. From
the Risque to the Rachmaninoff, we've got you covered. Let's get started.
They are about to start their silver 25th anniversary, an amazing feat for any arts organization. Let's take a peek at what's going on with our friends at Highways Performance Space.
Are you ready for the glory?
It's like alter ego. Amazing, amazing. It's exactly what America is. I mean, where are they taking it next? I don't know. I think people need to see this show. It's so amazing.
Clean your kitchen, fill your plates. Kiss your mom, get your date. Hide and stuff, control and clutter up before the boys come home. Shake a habit, not your hips. Shake those, raise the wheels, but not your lips. Trim and wash her up, or you will die alone. Welcome to the system, welcome to the program. Every single day, you're gonna have to try to get the step ahead.
Wow, keeping me on the edge of my seat like always. We're joined now by the two masterminds behind Highways, Leo Garcia and Patrick Kennelly. Gentlemen, it's great to have you back with us.
It's great to be back. I'm always happy to be here.
So, 25 years.
25.
I'm going to ask a silly question. Are you doing anything special to celebrate this silver anniversary?
Oh, absolutely. In January, we're starting to present new works. We're bringing back some of our old artists, some of the artists who started with us 25 years ago. Tim Miller, Michael Kearns, and we're also partnering some of our old or our original artists with mentees. So we'll have performances with the old school artists who are mentoring the younger artists, and they'll be presenting new works together. So yeah, it's going to be 6 months beginning in January of 25 years of presenting, and we'll be presenting new works and some renewing and bringing back some of the original works. So yes, big events.
And what is your theater's mission again?
Wow. Well, our mission really is to develop new works. So we work with artists who are dealing with political, social, psychological, and personal narratives.
Awesome.
And to create a dialogue between the artists and the communities that they serve. So it's really community-based performance work, working with underrepresented artists.
And this is a dumb question, but why is that important to you?
Well, it's important to me probably because my beginnings come from those communities, the communities where, you know, moving into the mainstream isn't the easiest job, and not that I need to do that, but I also like the opportunity of having other spaces that are willing to look outside of the box and develop my kind of work, and you know, are open to another point of view.
So you're uplifting the theater movement in Santa Monica.
In the world.
Definitely.
In the world. And it needs that, right?
It needs that. I think so, yes.
Patrick, you've been with Highways for 9 years, officially as co-artistic director.
In a
Or
number of different capacities,
number of
but
different
yeah,
capacities.
I've been doing this for a few years now.
What
yes.
attracted you to Highways, and why do you stay?
Well, I first came to Highways when I'm originally from Chicago, so I came out here to go to school. I was going to the California Institute of the Arts.
How was that?
How was what?
The school.
Oh,
Cal
it
Arts.
was great.
Yeah?
You know,
Because there are horror stories about that place. So
yeah. So, but this was quite some time ago. You know,
I don't
think,
buy that. You're again young-looking man. Go ahead.
I think a lot of things have changed, but I was exploring, or I was studying film and video, and have been working with commercial production companies and all that, and in the Santa Monica area actually, and I saw this opportunity for an internship, and you know, I started to explore performance and theater, which I was not familiar with, which I did not grow up with really. And stumbled into Highways, and was, you know, and that's...
Now, when you mean you stumbled into Highways, you were just driving around the city looking for a place to...
Well, stumbled in because I was working an overnight job at the time,
Okay.
so I was probably sleeping in my car before I came
Sounds
here.
amazing. So you're an artist, you're saying.
So literally stumbled.
What is Unmarked? What's that about?
This is a production entity that I've formed about 3 years ago, and we started out doing live performance events, which are combinations of like music concert and theater in a kind of a sort of an open-ended sort of form, sort of a party with performance with music. And then that shifted into doing a big musical project that we did about a year ago called Patty, and that was a project that involved a lot of different components. The main part being a show that we ended up getting 5 LA Weekly theater nominations for,
Nice.
Fantastic.
including Best Musical, and we won a few when we were there. So
What'd you guys win for?
we won for Best Choreography,
Awesome.
which was an interesting thing with that show because it was a cast of all women, 15 women in the cast wearing couture clothing.
Okay.
In
I like to wear that too.
don't you?
You're wearing it now?
Well said.
In high heels.
Again,
you
that's-
know,
that's how I roll.
stiletto heels.
it going.
So
Big
the
fan.
dance and under those circumstances, it's especially the type of dance they're doing.
I
Was,
know how it is, yeah.
But it's the idea of what we do at Highways. It was a new work that we developed from the ground up, and
Yeah.
it was a huge production. It was probably one of the most well-attended works that we've had in our space in the last 25 years, and
exciting.
it was a beautiful piece.
You come up with new ways of telling stories, don't you?
We have to. That's our job. Exploring new forms of performance and always looking for that point of view and that new voice. And we'll continue to do that as long as we have the energy, the strength, and the funding. So if anyone's out there and wants to support Highways, go to www.highwaysperformance.org and donate.
And you guys have outreach programs too, right?
We do have outreach programs, yes. And usually that's funded by individuals or organizations or foundations that support us, and including the City of Santa Monica Cultural Affairs and LA County and California Arts Council. So yes, we do.
That's very exciting. And educational programs. I'm so excited about your working with the older artists and the mentees coming up. I think that's such a wonderful way of paying it forward.
It is a wonderful way. And Barbara T. Smith is one of the artists that we're bringing back. And if you don't know her, she's one of the great mothers of early performance art. So and hails here from Los Angeles County. So we're looking
Now,
forward to that.
Are you ever on stage personally? Do you ever get up there and do your thing?
You know,
because you're quite the performer as well.
I used to do that, but I consider this project a 10-year durational project, my participation as the director of Highways. So instead of it being an administrative job, it's really an art project.
Do you miss performing and directing and you know, does your soul?
You know, I don't. I really completed that when I did it, and
believe it.
I feel very satisfied to
That's great.
to be out of that.
So this
Yeah.
is your baby, and you're watching it grow and become amazing and awesome and epic.
Yeah, it's a durational work, and I'm happy to see it develop. But eventually you walk away from that and move on to other works. So
Oh, Leo and Patrick,
Thank
such
you.
a pleasure to have you both with us today, and I hope we'll see both of you on stage again sometime in the future. Stick around. We're tuning up for a visit with Orchestra Santa Monica next.
Founded in 2012, Orchestra Santa Monica has emerged as a musical home for professionals and emerging artists. Let's take a look at the orchestra in action. They may be in their infancy as an organization, but the talent driving this group comes with some indelible experience. We're joined now by Alan Robert Gross. Welcome. We're thrilled to have you on the show. This is my first day, your first day. This is Synergy.
My pleasure. Actually, it's not my first day, but I've been on the show many years ago.
Well, that doesn't
But
count.
that doesn't count.
Because I
it's
wasn't there.
Your first day.
Right.
Exactly.
Point is, it's
Yeah.
about me.
Right.
So how has orchestra come to be?
Well, Orchestra Santa Monica was formed last year. A number of supporters of Santa Monica's musical life wanted an orchestra that would be connected to the community, giving high quality concerts,
Okay.
presenting local and emerging artists.
Awesome.
That will provide Santa Monica with a wonderful and pretty unique concert experience.
So the folks in the orchestra are from Santa Monica.
Some are.
Okay.
Many are from the wider area. But we do, it's a priority for us to be promoting local artists, local composers, or composers and artists who represent the diversity of the wider LA Basin area.
So buy local, grow local, and play local.
Exactly.
right?
Just one of the events at Santa Monica the other week.
Yes,
exactly.
indeed. I'm going to ask you what I think is a terrible question.
Ask
That's
away.
okay.
But it appears on grants, on grant applications all the time. What makes you special and different from every other orchestra?
Well, I think, I'm not sure every other orchestra, but what makes us special in Santa Monica is some of the things I mentioned already. That we feel that even though the level of our playing is very often in the ballpark with regional orchestras, we feel that our mission is to be serving and connecting with the community. So as an example, in our first concert, we're presenting a phenomenally talented young violinist who's at Crossroads, Angela Bay. And last year, we did a Black History Month concert that featured a premiere by a local composer and a local but internationally known countertenor soloist.
Wow.
So and this year also we're doing a special project called North and South of the Border, which features music, composers, performers who've been active both in Mexico and in Southern California. I think this is part of the way we want to connect with the community and also deliver the important message that people are writing music today.
Yeah, yeah. We forget
Exactly.
that because everything is so digital and immediate that there are actually people out there who are making music that as grand as what you're promoting at your
Right,
at
and even though we perform the standard repertoire,
Yeah.
that people all want to come hear performed well,
yeah.
we also don't lose sight of, in fact, the important fact that that composers are writing music,
amazing.
and people are writing music here, and they're writing music that that can appeal
Right.
to people who get otherwise involved in the uniquely exciting experience of attending a live symphony concert.
Now you're also the conductor
Yes,
of these,
right.
Wow.
which is mind blowing.
Well, it's part of the job. It's being music director means that I'm involved in determining the programming, engaging the guest artists, and I guess realizing or trying to realize the artistic vision of the organization. And then, of course, I conduct the performances, which is also a very nice thing.
So you, I understand you commission works.
Right.
I've always wondered, how does one go about that? Do you have an idea for a kind of music, or a concerto or a symphony, or do you find a composer that you particularly like and say, go with it? How does it
All
work?
of the above. In the case of last year's premiere, we had this idea of a Black History Month concert, which featured classical repertoire written by African American or composers of the African diaspora in the States.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and then a composer whom I think very highly of, Andre Myers, whose works I've done in the past, wanted something new, and so we talked about this, and he was working coincidentally on a song cycle of poems by County Cullen, a Harlem Renaissance poet, and we figured that setting this for orchestra with vocal soloist was a very good project for both of us. So that's how that commission arose.
And how has traveling affected your perspective on music?
How is traveling?
Because you're worldly also.
Well, thank you. That's a
stumped
hard
you. I've
question.
stumped you.
I think it mostly has to do with inner traveling.
Interesting.
That the engagement with music of different cultures is an internal as well as an external experience. I mean, I was in China a number of years ago conducting in a conservatory in Shenyang, which is in the northern part of China. But that didn't give me as much an exposure to Chinese music as the composers, the contemporary composers, whose music I had already studied here, I think. And I think likewise with Latin American music, which is something I do a lot of.
Awesome.
What's the size? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I think we got no more time. I think we're out of time.
What's the size of your orchestra?
About 60. It's not a large orchestra because we play in Mount Olive Lutheran Church, which accommodates the size of the orchestra we have, which is good, but also determines the kind of repertoire that we do, which is also somewhat distinctive in the way that we perform it, because this is a fairly intimate concert space. And one of our aims is to demystify and break down the traditional barriers that exist between the audience and a proscenium stage with musicians
bravo.
on them. So we're not exactly casual, but the whole experience that Orchestra Santa Monica presents is to get the audience involved with the music making in a way they can't do even in a great acoustical place like Disney Hall, for instance.
Cool.
Wow, amazing. Well, Alan, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
You're so awesome and amazing. All right, folks, not quite done yet. Stick around. The orchestra has brought a musical treat. We'll be right back.
Hey, slow down.
Right next to the library on 7th Street is the Santa Monica History Museum, where history comes to life for the entire family. Enjoy the exhibits, main gallery, the photo archive, research gallery, and much more. Come visit the Santa Monica History Museum, keeping history alive.
Please welcome guitar soloist Ricardo Escobar. He's a guest artist for this season at Orchestra Santa Monica. That was amazing.
Absolutely awesome.
He was fantastic.
He really was. So, did you have a garage band when you were growing up?
I did not. We had no garage.
Oh.
It's sad. It's a sad story. Let's go deeper. Keep going. What else?
Drums?
I did not have drums, no. I had a piano, and my teacher quit on me when I was 7. She was very, very old and very angry.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
So you went into words instead.
I did words, and I make mouth
you
sounds.
make music
I
with
do.
words.
I became
I've heard
music.
You,
I
and
do.
You became music. That's
true.
very true. So welcome to
Thank
the
you.
show.
It's my first time here.
Yes, and
As a
definitely not your
host.
last.
I hope not. God, I hope not.
That's our show for today. It just flew by. Every week we're having a blast learning more about the arts groups that make Santa Monica's cultural world so rich.
That's right. We look forward to seeing you next time as we introduce you to a few more of our friends here at Santa Monica On Stage.